Hello, everyone, and welcome to my interview with Cultaholic's own Andrew Hodkinson. I will be joined by him in a second. I will join you at the start. Hello, everyone, and I am back from the past and now in present time, and I am delighted to be joined by Andrew.
Hello, it's lovely
How
to
are
be
you?
here. I'm very well, thank you, Joshua. I'm really, really well. I'm genuinely very happy that you asked me to be on this
Thank
on your
you.
on your podcast on your channel because I've seen some of the other videos that you've done as well, and some of the insane people that you've had on as
Yeah,
well, like Alex Reynolds. Are you mental? Are
yeah.
you crazy? That's insane.
That,
So,
that's coming out in 22 minutes to YouTube.
ooh,
So you
ooh,
guys will have seen this. This is going up next week. So if you've not already gone and seen it, there'll be a little eye thing there. Go and click it, and then come back to this one. And then you can see this one as well, and the one I did on
amazing.
Sunday. But today, you may also notice we are matching with the
Twinning.
t-shirts, with the CM Punk t-shirts. So yeah, my first question to you is sort of a similar one I ask all the boys at Cultaholic that I've had the pleasure of speaking to is how did you get into wrestling?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I got into wrestling when it used to be. So I'm quite an I say an old boy. I'm quite an old boy, Joshua, and it used to be on Channel 4 back in the day.
Yeah,
Or at least Heat did. I think there used to be some highlights of WWE back then as well. And yeah, it was during Heat. It used to be on a Sunday. So I used to go around to my cousin's house and he'd just be sitting on the couch watching like Kane choke slam Val Venus or something like that. And one day he just gave me a VHS of WrestleMania 16 and I was just hooked. I was enamored after that. I remember everything everything was good in my eyes. I was like, yeah, this is all right. And then we get to the triangle ladder match between the Hardys, the Dudleys, and Edge and Christian. And I was
still need
just
to
like,
watch that.
it's so good. It's like the precursor to the TLC matches that
Yeah,
came afterwards. And like that just full on hooked me. And I loved it. I've just loved it ever since. Yeah.
mm. It was a sort of similar story for me in a sort of multi-person tag match sort of way.
Mm.
And was a lot later, Mania 35.
Ooh.
It was
Oh
the
my,
Iconics. It was
oh
for
my
me.
God. Really?
That
Wow. That's a
moment
really good one too, though.
where they won it and that connection between them instantly like struck me as like this is like because it was like halfway through the card.
Mm.
And I was like, oh yes, it's cool, but I don't really see any like connection yet. And then the chemistry of them was like they're really funny and like the connection that they have is so genuine and
Mm.
like their podcast is great. Shout out to
I
their
agree. They're so good, and it was such a shame to see them drop them so quickly as well. Drop
yeah.
the belts so quickly, but those two together, they're gonna go on to do amazing things as it is anyway. They don't need WWE, Joshua. They can go and
No,
do fantastic things elsewhere. It'll be
go
fine.
to AEW, please.
Come on,
Like just
please, please.
at least give us that match with Take on Tina and Jay. At least give us
Oh,
that.
can you just start booking AEW
Oh,
instead of
good
Tony
good little
Khan? Let's just
segue
get you.
there. There'll be a little playlist button down there, and go and watch some of the If I Was Vince or If I Was Tony videos because there is
Ooh,
one on the Now Inspiration coming out on Sunday, so it will be out. My last video
nice.
will be that. So that
Oh,
wasn't planned before, by the way.
look at that. Oh, there you
That
go. See, perfect segue. Look at this.
perfect
We're
segue.
twinning and we're
Yeah.
twinning with our minds as well.
Mhm. Talking of people with great chemistry, you and Ross.
Oh,
So I am halfway through the reaction video to Extreme Rules because that came out last night and we were watching Bake Off. I'm not
oh.
trying to finish watching it yet.
Priorities.
Yeah,
You've got to watch
priorities.
Bake Off first.
Bake Off first. I started watching it as I was going to bed and then I was like, oh, I'm tired. So I'm halfway through that. But I believe you lost, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, technically we drew. We drew, but as happens in the wrestling universe, when a title is on the line and it comes to a no contest, the champion unfortunately retains the belt.
Oh, no.
So we came to a draw. I won the last one, so I'm feeling good though. I'm feeling good that at the next pay-per-view, I think, which might be Crown Jewel, I'm feeling pretty confident that although WWE like to pull weird things out of the bag when it comes to Crown Jewel, so anything goes, at least for the pay-per-view, and then everything is rectified on the shows afterwards. Yeah,
ignore that. Ignore everything that just happened.
Exactly.
Saudi money. Like, let's go to Survivor Series.
That's pretty much it. But yeah, I drew. But do you know what? As much as Ross lays into me in those videos, he's a worthy champion. And to be fair, I can't even lift that belt properly, so it's probably better on him at the moment as it is. So yeah.
Yeah. How did you get involved with Cultaholic?
So I used to watch the boys back in the day when they were at What Culture, and I know, right? Oh, breaking the fourth wall. Hello, Simon Miller. I used to watch them there, and I used to love it. Like I was a lapsed wrestling fan for a very long time, and watching their stuff on the channel sort of got me back into it again. And for a lot of years, I always sort of knew that I wanted to kind of get into the YouTube stuff, get into the content sphere, so to speak. And I had no idea how to do it, though. I was like, how do I do this? I don't understand what I'm going to do. I wanted to change. I was working at Tesco, which there's nothing wrong with working a retail job, but I was like, I'm ready for a change. I'm ready to sort of satisfy myself creatively. And just on the off chance, I was like, I wonder if they've got just any jobs going, like anything. I don't know what it is. I don't really care what it is on the website. I just want to have a look and see if I'll be able to do it. And they had a freelance video editor position up on there. And I'd never edited a video in my life before I'd even seen that on there. And I was like, do you know what? There's nothing to lose. If you want to try something, you might as well try it, because you'll never know. And I feel like I was incredibly lucky, because I sent my video off and I didn't hear anything back for a good while, maybe like 4 or 5 months or something like that. So by that point, I was like, I'm probably like not even in the cutting order, and rightly so. I go back and watch the video that I sent in now, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know why they even bothered picking me. What's going on here? But I'm so thankful that they did. And then one day Sam got back to me and was like, do you want to freelance? And I was like, yes, please. Let me absolutely do that for you. And then, I freelanced for about 2-3 months. And then Adam was like, do you want a full-time position moving up to Newcastle? So I was like, yeah, that sounds awesome. And here we are now. Yeah. Very lucky. Very, very lucky.
How was that? Because interestingly, in the car, me and Mum had this conversation of the fact that, like, doing what you guys do is like my dream job. Like, talking and presenting about wrestling is like my dream job. Like, and my mum said, like, if you got a job offer, like doing something like that in London or Scotland or Newcastle, would you take it? I was like, well, if I'm 18, like, I would do it. Like, I would just drop everything and I would do it, because it's what I want to do and want to build up from the bottom and build my way up to, hopefully. And that was, so how was that for you? So obviously you'd applied, and then was it from Yorkshire all the way?
It was, yeah. So it was very, it was scary. I was 24, 25 at the time, and I'm 28 now, not long term 28. So I've been here for a little bit, but like back then it was so scary. I've been to university before, so moving away was fine. I didn't really mind that too much, but the thought of just finally going out and pursuing my dream job was frightening, and very scary at the same time, but also just thrilling. Like, I was so excited to finally do it. And I think the excitement for it pushed all the other fear and everything to one side. And yeah, like the move was easy. Thankfully, Adam helped me with that. I remember to start with, I was very worried about it because I was thinking maybe I don't have enough money to be able to move and get a flat sorted and be able to live for a little while. But Adam's very generous and helped me with that too. So again, yeah, just very fortunate, just very, very fortunate. I guess the thing is, like, if you just don't go for it, if you see something there and the opportunity is presented to you, if you don't grab it, then you'll just never know. So I was like, yeah, let's see what happens. And at least then you don't regret it, you know, at least you've gone for it, see what happens. And yeah, thankfully things have panned out, and I couldn't be more thankful or happier for it.
Can I just say, I wouldn't stop him from living his dreams, by the way.
No.
I was like, you will never leave with me. You must live with me forever.
Just to back up for the audience, on the way here, I was like to Mum, can you not be down here while I do this? Because I might get a bit distracted because they're very, very talkative. Should we announce something?
I've already told them that we're doing a
podcast. But the people don't know yet. I haven't announced it to the people.
Don't know.
Do you want to announce?
You can announce.
Do you want to come on just quickly? So, me and my wonderful mum here, when there is a gap where I won't have an interview, I'll start saying
so I'm your like.
Yeah, you're the gap. You're the gap filler. You're the gap filler. That'll be coming soon, so stay tuned for that, and that'll be coming out. But getting back onto you. So, was it easier to move during the pandemic?
So thankfully I moved in 2018. So I missed the whole pandemic stuff. Yeah. But like working from home was very difficult. Mainly because at that point I'd sort of just started to get into editing other shows and stuff. So I was just getting into editing the news for the channel and graded and things like that. But moving back to the flat, my internet was atrocious. Like it was so bad. A video that would take about 10 minutes to upload here would take me overnight to upload back at the flat. So my workload was cut drastically, and that hit me quite hard. I was pretty upset about that. And thankfully we were able to make it sort of like a safe environment back at the office again. So I think when the lockdown initially eased up on that 1st August in 2020, I think it was 2020, like time's just a blur now, Josh.
Everything's just merged together.
Everything is merged together. But I think it was initially when the lockdown sort of eased up in August of 2020. I moved back into the office and we just made it like a super safe space for people that had come back in. And the workload thankfully started picking up again. And I mean, I shouldn't really complain because there was people out there that were out of work and weren't able to do their jobs. So I was still thankful that I was able to work from home, but at the same time sad that just the work rate had dropped. Yeah. And I was like, just give me more stuff. Give me more stuff. My brain's always like going a mile a minute, and my attention kind of like ping pongs between so many different things. So being at home, I'd be like, oh yeah, I should edit this, but I'll just play guitar for like 2 hours, you know, like it's silly things like that I shouldn't have to distract me. But yeah, I was lucky enough to come back to the office and have things pick up again for me. So it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad, sort of like the pandemic era, which is very good. So
when was your first, because from what I can vaguely remember, I only really remember you on camera like 2020-ish.
Mm-hmm.
But that was like your first sort of go on camera. I completely forgot about the editing side of it and things like that.
Yeah, so like I still don't consider myself a presenter. I still very much consider myself an editor because I think I'm better at editing than I am presenting, like by far. But it was like I think October or November of 2020. I remember Adam messaging me and being like, okay, so I think we're going to put you on news sort of December time around Christmas, if you're up for it. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. That sounds really good. Thinking I was going to have time to sort of prepare for it. And then within a week, Adam was like, oh, you're on news this week. And I was like, oh no, what's going on? What's happening? And he threw me in at the deep end, but he was very, very good about it because I was on the news with him. So he took the brunt of the work, which I was so happy for. He was doing all the talking and I was chiming in with, yes, Adam. Yes, that sounds good kind of stuff. But that helped me grow my confidence a lot more. And I'm glad he did throw me in the deep end, because if I was thinking about it too much, it would have just been so just unbearable. Like the anxiety would have been unbearable almost, just waiting for that moment to come. So yeah, him just being like, okay, it's happening this week. And I was like, yes, if it's happening, it's happening. I can't go back now. I want to do it and I want to contribute. So yes, that's fine with me. So yeah, it was late last year, and it feels like 2 minutes ago. It genuinely feels like 2 minutes ago. And now that we're coming to the close to the end of 2021, it's been pretty mental. Yeah.
I can't believe we're in October tomorrow or the day after.
Yeah. It's gone
crazy.
so fast. It's gone so fast. And but that's I guess that's also like a testament to just how busy we've been. Thankfully, we've been really busy this year.
I mean,
too.
that's good for us fans, because it's constant content.
And even just as fans of wrestling as well, like it's been so exciting having crowds back too, and all these new debuts and all this stuff happening. That
I'm gonna get onto them in a little bit.
Oh, okay. I'm excited then. Let me stop myself there. You go, Josh. You go.
Going on to the, obviously with all the content and things, the connection between you and Ross. I'm gonna go back onto this because, well, also quickly about you saying how the presenting, you think you're far better at editing. You'll see this with the interview with Owen, the people that are watching this currently, that's coming out next month. Well, you were sort of brought up in that, and we had a little discussion about how Owen said about how he constantly has to reassure you that how good you are, because you are amazing. Like the stuff you do with Ross and with other people, honestly, those reactions videos and predictions video, every single pay-per-view, I think I slightly look more forward to them than the actual pay-per-views, because they're that entertaining. Like, Extreme Rules I found so boring. Like, it wasn't that good of a show. It was the first pay-per-view in 2 years I haven't stayed up to watch.
Wow.
And that's saying a lot.
I mean, that is saying a lot.
I'll watch it the next day. I watched it. I was like, I mean, this is okay. The Finn Balor fish moment was probably the highlight.
Oh, that was the best bit. I was
hoping a bit of 2K, like the broken 2K.
Oh, exactly. I was hoping he was actually going to come out as a fish after that. When he started flopping, and I was like, wait, Finn Balor, there's fins on fish. Can we not just have him have some sort of shark gimmick or something?
There.
It would have been so good. Like that would have been better booked than the ending of that actual paper. I'm just putting it out there now. Yeah, but you're incredibly kind to say the things that you have done, and I think it's more of the people that I'm on camera with definitely carry me a lot more, and help me come out of my shell a lot more. But thank you so much for the nice comments there, young man. That's very kind of you.
You're brilliant. So obviously, you had a little, I would say, feud with Adam.
Mm-hmm.
With those, I remember that, like, as you started, that was sort of as you started to become on camera. And I remember this is a really weird memory. You were on a TikTok live on the Cultaholic stream, and you cut a promo on Adam, and I was sat there for 10 minutes thinking, how is this good?
Whoa!
Like, how do you? It was like pipe bomb level good, I thought at the time. And I remember sitting there thinking, how did these guys come up with this? How was that story, I would say, pitched to you?
I think it was just again one of those things where Adam was like, okay, I think we're going to get you involved in more of the storyline stuff. And the first feud was going to be against him, and I was like, wow, I was very anxious about that, because Adam being just the beloved person that he is in YouTube, and just being just charismatic and
very skilled professional wrestler as well.
Very skilled. As everybody knows, if you're a wrestler that wears gold trunks, then you are ultimately straight up there in the pantheon of greatest wrestlers ever, such as AJ Hazard is.
3 seconds in the WCPW Battle Royale.
Hey, it's better than 1 second.
Better than 1 second. Did better than Sheamus did.
He he went out after 3 seconds because it was like, okay, I know how good I am.
Yeah.
I've got to give all the other wrestlers a chance to shine, you know. So he chucked himself out. So again, it was very difficult to go up against such a person as AJ Hazard. And yeah, kind of like a lot of stuff kind of is just like on the fly. Someone will be like, oh, I've got this idea. And it's like, okay, cool. Yeah, let's go with that. And then it just kind of like blossoms from there. We'll have like a teeny tiny little seedling. And then we plant it in I say we plant it in the plant pot. I don't know what kind of metaphor this is right now, but basically we have a tiny idea. We get in front of the camera and then it kind of just expands from there. That's really how that goes. But again, I was just very thankful that the first person I was on camera with was with Adam, because he just really made it super comfortable and helped me grow my confidence. And yeah, like that pipe bomb thing, I remember a pipe bomb thing. So look at me. What am I on about? But I came in really early to do that TikTok because I was so scared of people hearing me. So I was like the first one in the office in the morning. I was like, okay, I got to do this. And I think at the end, like, we didn't have any beer in the office and I didn't want to chug a beer at like 8 o'clock in the morning. So I got some, I can't remember what it was, like Fanta or something. But I didn't want to make a mess because I did it in this podcast room as well. So I just like put on the floor, I just covered the floor in bin bags and just pretty much just like poured it on myself. So I didn't get stuff anywhere. So that's a little bit of behind the scenes for you there. Look, it's just DIY.
With the, so as you moved on from Adam, obviously you were sort of involved in the Hell in a Smell. So I remember watching that, and that was so entertaining. Like, I felt bad for Adam because I've done like 24-hour charity streams in the past, and I struggled with them like through the night hours. And then I remember at the end, I tuned in like towards the end bit, and when it was revealed it was you, it was like, how was that? And you don't have to break kayfabe if you don't want to. But was it you all the time? Or I have a sneaky suspicion it was a certain Mr. Sam for a little bit of that time.
Now, you know, I don't know if I can break kayfabe, but it could perhaps have been a few people.
Yeah.
Perhaps being Sam. Perhaps,
maybe,
who knows?
Maybe.
But what I will tell you is that Adam is an absolute trooper for going through that for 24 hours. He basically sat down for 24 hours and made it entertaining. He is unbelievably charismatic and talented at doing something like that. And like I said, it was just sat down for 24 hours, but it wasn't easy. I mean, that sounds easy enough, right? But like after
baked beans and
exactly. And the smell in that room was insane. I remember walking in and the air was so thick. It was horrendous. It was like when you go to a hot country, you step off a plane and it just hits you all of a sudden. It was just a wall of smell and heat, and you could have got a knife and just cut the air. It was that thick. It was horrible. But again, did you know what? It's a testament to the fans as well that just stuck with us. Some people literally stuck there for the whole entire 24 hours, which is insane. Like, that is insane, but we can't thank people enough for that. And you can never thank Adam enough for just deciding, you know what? Yeah, we can sit there for 24 hours and we can do this and this. And it's like, wow, fair enough. And yeah, he just constantly makes it entertaining. Even I struggle just on stream after an hour. I'm like, my head's going like, oh, how do I constantly keep going? How do I keep on? And how do I keep this as fun as possible for everybody watching? And he's just a natural. He just knows how to do it. And yeah, kudos to that man. He does a lot for this. He does a lot for Cultaholic.
I think he would be a fascinating interview as well.
Oh my goodness.
I've got to try and get him on at some point. The amount he's been through before Cultaholic.
Yeah.
Like,
he's he even now after two years of being here, he still has stories that are just genuinely so fascinating
The
about.
problem with that would be there wouldn't be enough time to talk about everything.
What do you
Like, it
mean?
would be-
He can stay up for 24 hours. You know
Yeah.
how long he can stay up for? He could do an interview
Like, you
for
could
that.
do anything. I'm not sure like the 14-hour long interview would do that well on YouTube.
I think it. Do you know what? With Adam Pacitti, I think
14
it
hours. Adam
absolutely would.
Pacitti.
Yes,
You know, no,
that sounds
14
like a
hours of
dream.
AJ Hazard would do much better views.
Now that would do better. Definitely.
I'll send him an email after this. See if I can get him on. So now, obviously, with your little thing with Ross and his new character, let's just say, the little things with like the Funko Pops and things like that, I find them hilarious as well. Like they're brilliant, and also things have got a bit more wrestling into it. I want to know a little bit more about them.
So, oh yeah, sorry.
The first one I can remember is the sort of AA that you did to you. How was that? Was it a lot of camera shot, or did Ross literally AA you through a table?
Scary. It was scary. That's what it was. He is a strong man. I'm not exactly built very largely. I'm quite a slim, gangly boy. So he literally manhandled. I remember just running towards him, and he just picked me up straight away and was just like, whoop, done. And I was like, whoa, what's going on there? And I remember we were filming some bits for that, and the next day my body was just. I'm not an exercise boy. I don't often go out and stretch the muscles. So I was aching so much after that day. But I can honestly say that the stuff with Ross at the moment is by far creatively the most satisfying content I've been a part of.
You know what that sounds like then?
Yeah.
That sounds like you've just been released by WWE. It just does that.
Guys, I'd just like to say everything is fine between me and Cultaholic. We are all good. I love this company so much.
In your future endeavors, yeah. Have you had that? We're gonna have a tweet coming out next week.
Cultaholic have come to terms with the release of Andrew Hodkinson. We wish him best in his future endeavors. I'm still waiting for the day. Title. I'm still waiting for the day they do that, but there we go.
So talking of punishments and things like that, the punishment that I can remember you doing the most is the Coop Chicken House one.
Yes.
So, and I'll come back onto Coop in a little bit, but I spoke to the guy at Coop about it. I want to hear your side of the story. How was it? Like, how weird was it?
I mean, it was. I mean, it's about as weird as it can get. Taking an anime body pillow through the city center and on the metro. I mean, So the thing was, I was so mortified about doing it. I was so scared about doing it that I got to a point where I was just like, do you know what? I'm just gonna lean into it. Who even cares? Half of these people, if any of these people they're never going to see me again. So I was just like walking down the street, waving to people, giving people thumbs up. There was like people beeping the horns and stuff. A little kid walks past and he's like, I watched that YouTuber. And then his grandparents question what they're letting him watch on YouTube.
Like, what is he talking about now? All you've heard is man sits in pickled onion and beans for a day.
I'm not actually listening.
It wasn't a chicken outfit. I'll show you a bit of the video later. So you not only are you brilliant with Cultaholic and you're presenting and editing, you also give great wrestling advice, great food advice.
Great food advice. Oh yeah, of course, because you tweeted me, didn't you? I remember this. Did you have a nice time? What did you get?
I was in Newcastle for the first time in about a year and a half, and I went to go see a WWE show in Newcastle.
Yeah, of course.
Did you go or you didn't?
I wasn't at that one. I was busy that weekend, so unfortunately I missed out. But did you enjoy it? Did you have a good time?
It was brilliant.
Amazing.
It was. As of today, I am going to the one in Manchester, and confirmed me today. Shout out to my amazing family for getting me tickets for that. We're going in November to the one in Manchester after the draft, which is adds a bit more excitement to the draft because
it really does. Yeah, definitely. You might see you'll see some new faces
Yeah.
knocking about, which will be really exciting. The draft is always an exciting time. Like that, I like the draft and I like the Royal Rumble because it just shakes things up a bit, and I enjoy to see what they do there.
I mean, I sort of enjoy the Saudi shows for that because you never know what's going to happen.
They are definitely something.
I mean,
they are definitely something.
I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about the one coming up because this is going to come out the start of October, start of October. So it'll be sort of just before, just after the pay-per-view. In the chat with Owen, which is coming out. Oh no, this is going out next week. Forget that. I've got my dates mixed up. In the interview with Owen before Extreme Rules, we had a bit of a take that Finn was going to win, and then Undertaker was going to challenge him, and then that was going to be his last match. So he had a match in front of fans. But unfortunately, that didn't happen.
I would have preferred to have seen that at Saudi, to be fair. That would have been awesome.
About that, but I mean, that finish was
something.
Other than this household, we love Finn. We like my mum's Finn Drew Edge, right? Because I showed her that the first wrestling thing I showed her was the Edge documentary, and I think it made you cry at one point. Yeah, well, it did all of us. Let's be honest.
It did.
So that happened. Obviously, we've seen your reaction to that.
Yeah.
I've got a recording on my phone of it. Like, I thought he was going to win. I was like, Finn's going to win the title. What?
I mean, just the way everything was sort of looking like it was going. I mean, but I was so distraught for Finn because he brings back the demon persona. And I said this multiple times on videos, but if Finn himself has said that if he brings back that persona, it feels like a step back in his career. So for WWE to bring that back and then to have him lose, and in such a weird way that it doesn't make him look strong. I understand that the top rope breaks and it's supposed to make him like protect the demon character. It just made him look daft because he was just there like clasping his knee and being after all the onslaught that he'd just taken. He speared through the barricade and everything as well. He like the Usos came out. And and now he's there, just like flapping like a Magikarp in just in splash, and then he's done for. The top rope breaks, and that's it. And I just felt so sorry for him. And I don't necessarily think at Crown Jewel we needed Brock and Roman to face off for the belt. I don't think that feud really even needs the belt, especially with Paul Heyman in the middle of this whole thing. I think that's more intriguing, at least to me. Personally, storyline wise. So to see if it would have been so awesome to see Finn get the Universal Championship, finally have the run that he should have had back in 2016 when he won it the first time, and that would have been more compelling to me than just the top rope breaking, Roman Reigns looking up as if to say God's come back from 2006
the only
Backlash.
way this can work out if it was Naomi that did it.
I mean, it could be. You never know.
But that's the only way that I will accept that finish.
Okay,
I can that Naomi is part of the bloodline because
I mean, I would love to see Naomi as part of the bloodline. I'd love to see her get the SmackDown Women's Championship as well and just join them, and then them all have the belts on SmackDown. That would be really, really cool.
So let's do a little bit of fancy booking here. Let's have some fun with it. My pick is Liv Morgan for the Royal Rumble. Has to be. Please do something. Just she is so good. Like
she really is
ridiculously good.
She's underutilized them. I felt 100%. Really bad. I felt really bad that she was just resigned to the kickoff show on Extreme Rules. She deserves a lot more than what she's been given so far. And I know she's had like opportunities.
Glimpses of
I think eventually we will get there. Like from everything from the documentary that WWE made about her, I really do think they're going to invest a lot into her, but I guess just not at this point in time. Perhaps get past the Becky and the Sasha stuff for Bianca. Get Bianca with the belt again, and then have Liv Morgan come in. I mean, I would like to see that because
I want to see Liv Morgan go to Raw.
Ooh, okay.
Because they've not got that good of a women's division.
No,
like Shayna Baszler sort of taking them all out.
I mean, now that Baszler is taking out all the, I guess, more of like the heely people that people don't really like to see on Raw, I'm kind of happy about that. I want to see Shayna Baszler get to back to how she used to be on NXT, because she was awesome on NXT, like just a dominant force throughout the women's division. And now she's kind of just like, she's like a shadow of her former self. And I want to see it absolutely decimate on Raw. And I'd love to see Rhea and Shayna go at it for the women's championship, just like they did with the NXT one. There is. It's sad. It is sad.
In all fairness, I wasn't a fan of this new Nikki character. Putting her with Rhea works. Let Rhea talk. Don't let Nikki talk, because Nikki has got a great promo on her. But I'm almost a superhero. No, you're not. I'm sorry. I know it's for kids.
It is.
But if I was 4, I would know that she wasn't. If she'd been gone for 2 years, came back maybe. But it was literally a change of that. To have her win Money in the Bank derailed that push for me.
And it was such a strange one as well, because she just cashed it in the night after. There was no like real build to it. There was no real build to sort of any character. It was kind of overnight that she just did it. And I mean, I'm so happy that she finally got sort of a even as very short as it was a women's championship run. Like, she deserves it so much, because she's been in the company, she's done loads and loads of stuff. But I guess it's just the booking, the way that she was booked was just very detrimental, I think, to her. And it's nice to see her now with the tag team championships as well. Hopefully her and Rhea,
women tag team champions.
Yeah, hopefully her and Rhea can make those belts mean something again, because they kind of just like they just get thrown around
I think willy-nilly. Did a job towards that, but they didn't have the star power. That's no shot on them. They're great at what they do, but they're not your box office like names.
They're not, and like there's always some sort of builds to the women's tag titles. I think when we get to matches, we get sort of builds to it, but then as soon as a new team has the belt, then it kind of just like dwindles again, and they don't really do anything. They'll have singles matches, or they'll have tag matches without the belts on the line. So it kind of makes those champions inconsequential with the belts, and then it just feels not very it just doesn't feel as important as it should do, I think.
So another question of news that is hot off the press at the moment: WWE planning a major pay-per-view, aka according to Alex McCarthy and a few other people, and I believe you yourself and other people have reported on it, SummerSlam coming to the UK.
Ooh,
yes,
excited.
Take
yes,
however
please.
much money I need to give you. Please do Wembley. So don't. There's rumors at the moment of Cardiff, and I'm like, they'll go in 10 seconds.
Yeah,
like
without a doubt.
Wembley, if it doesn't sell out, but it will sell out.
It will. It really will.
If I live in France or Germany, and I know that WWE are doing a pay-per-view at Wembley, 100%. I will do anything in my power. If someone would be kind enough to take me, like next year, okay, that's a fair deal. They've got that on camera now. If that happens, I spoke to Tom about this and to Ross about this, obviously. With your job, I would imagine you get to go to all the Manias, all the SummerSlams. Obviously, then there's no one to report on Mania and the SummerSlams.
Yeah.
Do you think you can make an exception for the first major pay-per-view back in the UK?
I mean, I'd love to so much. I think in the UK, it makes it a lot easier. Perhaps we get like, you see, I'm not very clued up on like the admin side of stuff. If we do get to go and chat to people, I'm sure Adam with his wise ways and his contacts and everything. And Tom's like the yellow pages of wrestlers. He's got like everybody's contact info. He just knows everybody. But like that would be incredible for such a historical moment, because I can't even. How long has it been? 1992. That's what, 30 years? Is that 30 years? Yeah, 30 years. 30 years since SummerSlam 1992, right. And for SummerSlam to be back in the UK again potentially is so exciting. Like that, and not just like a knockoff WWE UK pay-per-view that they used to have that were like pretty naff. Like they were fine. It was cool to have a pay-per-view in the UK, but for it to be something as big as SummerSlam is awesome. And I hope it is true. And like you were saying, I'd love for it to be at Wembley.
I'd take a Royal Rumble, and maybe it's never going to happen.
No.
Like people that say, "Oh yeah, we're not." Like, let's be realistic. Like, a Royal Rumble could happen.
Yeah.
I mean, that's on my bucket list. Like, Royal
that would be
Rumble,
amazing.
Mania, AEW show. Like,
yes.
AEW is, and what we've obviously your job, you get to cover a lot of wrestling and stuff. How exciting has it been, not only for a wrestling fan, but knowing it's benefited Cultaholic with the rise of AEW. And I'm going to break down the debuts. I don't want to know the first word that comes to mind. CM Punk.
Just mind blowing.
Yeah. That happened on the day. It happened at the night. And that day was a 24-hour stream. I couldn't stay up and watch it.
Oh, no.
And I was gutted. I was like, no.
Oh. You see, I did, and I stayed up to watch it. It was like, 3 a.m, I think, for us when Rampage was on. And
I think it's 5, isn't it?
Emotion. Was it 5? It might have been. I stayed up to watch it anyway.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
But yeah, like, oh my goodness. There's not few things. Like, I get emotional a lot of stuff because a lot of stuff does make me sort of, when I see people enjoying what they're doing, it just makes me feel good inside. And seeing CM Punk come back and like just the joy in his face was, oh my goodness, it was the best feeling ever, like genuine emotions. And I think it was for a lot of people to see this person who got a lot of us into wrestling, or at least a lot of us lapsed fans got us back into wrestling. It was so awesome to see this guy back and to see him wrestle again. It's like he's not even missed a step.
No.
Like he's
even
been
in
doing
college
so
today,
well.
wearing this t-shirt. Like, I wear wrestling t-shirts every day, like every single day. And everyone tells me, "Oh, I got some more t-shirts." I'm like, "You have like 17,000 t-shirts."
You got to support the people that you love, you know.
So I got about 4 people come up to me and just go, "CM Punk, CM Punk." It was so weird because people just look at me after someone just started trying to CM Punk at me. I was like, so with like, I can't believe how long we've been talking now. So I'm going to speed up a bit with the debuts of like Ruby Soho, who I am a massive fan of. Like, no, it's a lot worse. So with the debut of Ruby Soho, with the debut of Bryan Danielson, Adam Cole, if you haven't seen Andrew's reactions, go and check out Cultaholic. They'll all be on there. But for me, I try not to scream massively. I'm sure the person sitting to my left will disagree with that massively. But those debuts at 4 a.m, I couldn't control myself.
How can you not? How can you not? Adam Cole is like one of my favorite wrestlers of all time ever. And to see him turn up at All Out was insane. I was so happy. And then for it to be followed by Bryan Danielson as well. Oh my mind just, I couldn't continue. Thankfully, I'm in the studio with Ross when that happened, so we're allowed to scream. That's kind of what we have to do. We have to react. And like, I'm so glad I was there and not at the flat, because I'm sure people, like my neighbors both up and downstairs, would have been like, he is murdering someone right now. What's going on?
The famous quote of my granddad when Keith Lee made his return, Raw after Money in the Bank, was, "How can you make that much noise? People are going to think you strangled someone."
But it's fine. It's allowed. For Keith Lee as well, it's allowed.
Like, it was like, so sometimes I do forget the time.
Nah, it's fine. It's fine.
A mad bottle happened at 4 a.m. Just Spanish flied someone through 25 burning tables. I can't help myself.
You can't. Look, like, it's impossible to stifle your excitement for something like that. So
I'm not going to keep you for too much longer because we've been nearly chatting for about 50 minutes now. I'm going to go slightly on to you away from camera. The very few things to know about you. So I believe you're a vegan.
I am indeed. Yes. Yeah.
My mum just suddenly like piped up because we talked about this the other night. How did that come about?
So that came about mainly like a lot of people kind of, as soon as they hear vegan, they're like, oh, activist, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he hates people who eat meat. That's not the thing at all. I basically went vegan because just dietary reasons and for health reasons. Ever since I was young, I've always had trouble with my stomach, and meat and dairy just flare my stomach up and make me feel horrible and very ill. I'm lactose intolerant as well, so it was easy just to cut the dairy out. The dairy could go. But my girlfriend as well is vegan, and I was basically just like, is it easy? Is it easy to go vegan? Like, is it hard? And she was like, not at all. There's so many good alternatives now. That you won't get bored. There's so much nice food. Thankfully, a lot of places also do vegan food now too. So I feel much better and much healthier for it as well. So yeah, so it wasn't a hard switch. I wanted to do it for a little while, but whilst I was living back at home, my mum used to make the meals and stuff, and it's hard to go vegan when mum's making a steak. So I was like, okay, can't really do it here. So when I moved out, I made the conscious decision just to change it. Yeah.
So interestingly, one more thing I'm going to go on about. The reason I found out you were vegan was something a bit different. Was when the chop punishment. Then all of a sudden, Tom Campbell brings in pork chop.
He does because
let me
he
just explain, right to you quickly.
I was just going to ask a question about cheese.
So a chop in wrestling, is like I'm not going to chop myself, but you do that, and basically you're like,
I think I can work out what a chop
and
is.
it like sounds hard, and I imagine I'll ask you in a minute how it felt. And Tom, as a joke, pork chops, and then I found out Andrew was vegan and thought. My mum was going to ask a question about cheese.
It's just right. I've been vegetarian since I was 7. And sorry. I don't want to so I've been vegetarian since I was 7. But I love cheese. Like, it's my like favorite thing to eat, and I've never had vegan cheese. Like, and I think that would be the hardest thing for me. Would be to not eat cheese. What's it like? Does it take? I mean, there's lots of alternatives.
There's definitely a lot of good alternatives. Now, even before I went vegan, I was still not I wasn't a massive fan of cheese. Cheese was just not something I enjoy too much. But there's a lot of there's one called Via Life, I think now. It's really good. It might smell a bit funky, but it tastes really good. Like, it's really nice. And there's other ones as well. There's like sort of spicy ones. I can't even remember like the brand names off the top of my head. My girlfriend is more clued up with that.
I think that'll be the thing, because Josh does a lot of the cooking in the house, only because he really enjoys it. And my absolute favorite dish that he makes is mac and cheese. Like we were talking about last night.
That's definitely not vegan.
Just because I was literally having this conversation yesterday, saying, you know what, I really am thinking about going vegan.
For that, we all laugh.
And I just don't. I know it sounds really selfish.
I'm going to commit to it now. I'm going to try and go vegan for a month in January because I think it is an issue. And to go a bit deeper in the world, the amount of like meat and the way animals are treated and stuff isn't good.
Yeah.
And as someone who eats meat, I see that, but then you sort of ignore it a little bit. And
I think you don't.
Yeah.
Like I was going to talk to you a little bit yesterday about things.
Yeah, and I was like, no,
don't tell me. And that's the thing, isn't it? A lot of people are like, I just don't want to know what goes on. So, and it doesn't look like a chicken breast. Doesn't look like a chicken, does it? So people associate a little bit.
Yeah.
But,
that's it. The David Attenborough documentary, I can't remember what it's called, but one of the more recent ones that he did that's on Netflix, that also opened my eyes quite a lot, because he talks about that, and he talks about the impact that it has on the planet as well. And it kind of goes through a timeline. It's like within this certain amount of years, this is going to happen if we don't kind of like reduce our meat intake and find alternatives for things. So that was also another like big eye opener for me too. So it's well worth a watch. It's really interesting.
So, just to not keep you for too much longer, because you said you've about an hour, and we're nearly about an hour. So these interviews just go like, I'm always like, I'm going to aim for 20 minutes.
It's just because it's so fun. It's like it is genuinely just really fun talking to you. You're a fantastic interviewer and really accommodating and welcoming. So yeah, you're a good lad.
An amazing guest.
Oh, bless you. Thank you.
I really appreciate everyone who is kind enough to let me speak to you, and even the people who I email and very politely decline instead of just seeing it and leaving it.
Yeah.
Like, shout out to Matt Cardona's people who sent a lovely, lovely email last night back to me. Like, honestly, it was ridiculously nice.
Oh, that's really good.
Disappointing because I love Matt Cardona, but like, understood. So, did Tom know you were vegan at that point? I'm guessing not.
I think Tom is such a busy man. It probably just slipped his mind. Although to me, again, like I'm really not fussed. If you want to slap me with meat, then go ahead. That's fine. I'm not gonna call the police on you. You're all right. I'm not gonna hate you for it. You do you. That's fine by me. But Tom being a very busy boy, probably forgetting about it, but also wanting to commit to the bit. That's the thing about Tom. Tom is, once Tom's got an idea in his head, he's got to commit to the bit, and I admire him for that. So I'm not gonna stand there and say you can't do that, Tom. You can't do that. I'm just like, go for it, pal. Go for it, pal. If it makes you happy, you go for it.
Like, it looked bad. Like, it looked.
It was. It was. Let me tell you that. So like some of them were over so fast that I initially didn't feel anything until afterwards, and then your chest kind of just like start pulsated and getting sore. But the worst one, or the two worst ones, Adam with his big hand. Oh, sorry, of course. Sorry, I'm giving one away there.
Brutal.
It was very, very brutal.
I can't think of the other one. But I just remember the takeout on that is the Adam one. Was, you can tell he's done that before.
Oh, without a doubt, he was ready to get out all the frustration from saying him to hell in a smell there and rightly so as well. He was allowed to do that.
Hit you over the head with a baking tray.
He hit me over the head with a picture of himself.
Oh, it was a picture of himself, wasn't
it?
No. You made it look like he proper like connected with it as well.
Oh yeah, it was. He like full on went for it. Like there was no making that look fake. No. So it was. That was an exciting day at work.
Yeah,
to say the least. Yeah.
So my last question to you, and then I will let you go because I've thoroughly enjoyed this, and hopefully in a year or months or whenever, if landscape changes or whatever, get you on again.
Definitely.
Because this has been lovely.
Oh,
I'm going to ask the same to what I ask everyone I've spoken to at Cultaholic.
Mm-hmm.
What is your favourite on-screen and off-screen moment at Cultaholic?
My favourite on-screen moment is probably... Ooh, that's a really good... I think the all-out reactions video is probably my favourite thing. Like, that was so good. Even the punishment as well was incredibly fun. I can't lie. Like, I enjoyed just going out, taking a body pillow out and just making the most of a bad situation. I really enjoyed that. And the thing off screen that I enjoy the most is probably just the camaraderie between everybody. Like it's not fake in the slightest. Everybody is genuinely very good friends. All the editors, we've got so many people now, and we've expanded so much as a company, and everybody that comes in is just such a delight to work with. Like, it's amazing to wake up in the morning and be like, I get to go to work and enjoy the people that I'm with and enjoy the job. And I don't know what's going to happen today, but I'm very excited for whatever does happen. And like, everybody is so talented, so funny. And it might sound like a cliched thing, but that is the thing I look forward to the most, is literally just coming into work to see everybody and having a laugh, having a chat, getting on with work. It's still very much a work environment where we're all cracking on with stuff, but it's amazing to just like have a brief, I don't know, like we'll have 15 minutes where we just talk about absolute nonsense for a little while. And yeah, just incredibly lucky and incredibly thankful to be in such a wonderful environment and in such a fantastic place of work. Yeah.
One thing I have on my notes that I forgot to ask you was the tonight going out is the AEW Dynamite, which is going to be quite an emotional one.
Yes, it is.
And like I'm going to have to watch with a box of tissues. Because,
Bless. Yeah, I think we all are tonight.
It's going to be a hard one. Like, and like, what I love about wrestling is how emotions are portrayed in it and everything like that. But like watching wrestling, I think a lot of people don't understand this stigma about wrestling fans. But it's like, oh, this and that, this and that, this and that, fake all this, fake all that. Say what you want about it, but if you're into it, you're into it, and it's like you can enjoy it for what it is. Like I didn't enjoy Raw for 6 months. I mean, I'm sure you had to watch it for work, so you didn't have a choice.
Yep.
But there was a choice coming up to All Out where I was like, I'm done with WWE. No, done now. They've clawed me back. They've been really good.
Yeah.
But like that's what I love about Cultaholic and love about like actually talking to you guys. You see how that's why I think it's so easy to talk. Because like we have something and like everyone has spoken, he's been lovely. And if you want to hear more from Andrew, then I'm gonna shout out the Desert Island Graps you did.
Oh,
Tom.
Thank you so much.
Again, that was another one that was slightly emotional, very emotional. I remember sat watching that on like a Saturday night thinking, oh.
No, it's Tom. Tom drags that part out of you when he's in an interview mode. He's very good. He's incredible at his job, and he's very good at making you bring your walls down a little bit, just to like pick at your psyche a little bit, you know.
And if you guys want to see my interview with Tom, if you wait about 30 seconds, there'll be a little cue card. And just click it, and it'll be there.
Just touch it, click it.
Just touch it, and you can see me talk to Tom. Or if you want to watch all the interviews I've done with all the people at Cultaholic, there's a little playlist as well you can click on, and you can watch all of them. And there's like 4 hours with Cultaholic.
Oh, amazing!
And I'm not even halfway through if you like yet. Like,
you'll
it's my goal by the end of next year to have interviewed all of you.
I think you'll do it.
That's what I want to do.
I think you'll do it. You've been nothing but fantastic. Like the things that I've seen from you, you've been incredible. Just keep doing what you're doing and keep being passionate like you are about it. You're genuinely incredibly nice, incredibly engaging with your questions. And it's been an absolute pleasure. It's been such a pleasure, Joshua. And I hope again, in like you were saying, in a year's time, we get to do this again.
I want to thank you for coming on because this has been a lovely, lovely chat. Really enjoyed it. I hope the people watching have enjoyed it. You have, make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, go and follow all of Andrew's links, go and subscribe to Cultaholic if you haven't, go and link to my Twitter and maybe tweet somebody who'd like to see me interview. And then maybe that could happen. That would be great.
Please
maybe
do it.
The Rock or something. I don't know.
Oh my, that would be insane.
That would make my career. So I'm going to thank you again for coming on, and I hope everyone's enjoyed. I will see you with my next interview, which is Owen from Cultaholic, coming out the start of next month. So enjoy that one, and I will see you with a video on Saturday, which will be a If I Was Vince / If I Was Tony. Don't know which one it is yet. We just fancy book wrestling content. Hope you enjoy it, and I'm gonna leave you there.